So what type, size, and class multifamily should you buy? That's a question I get all the time. My name is Rod Khleif. I'm host of the Lifetime Cash Flow podcast. So there's two types of multifamily. There's residential and there's commercial. So residential is 2 to 4 units and commercial is 5+ units. So let's talk about residential first. So residential, it's a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. It's a 2-family, 3-family, 4-family if you're up in the Northeast. Now, there's some huge advantages to buying residential. For example, incredible financing. You can get very low down financing, particularly if you're going to live in the property. You can also get low interest rates and 30-year fixed financing, which you can't get in the commercial properties. So they're very, very desirable properties. So those are the advantages. Now, and by the way, if you're a vet, you can actually get 100% financing on a fourplex. Great way to start your multifamily portfolio. And I have interviewed people on my podcast that have multi-million-dollar portfolios, one duplex at a time. So it can absolutely be done. But I'm going to tell you about a better way. But let me say one negative to the plexes, the residential multifamily, and that is the value is based on comparable sales. So unlike commercial multifamily, you can't really drive the value. With commercial, you can. We're going to talk about that in a second. But again, it's a great place to start. And people have what I call a courage muscle, okay? They build up their courage. And many people, myself included, we start with a house or we start with a plex, and then we go to larger properties. So if that's how you start, it's absolutely okay. Now let's talk about commercial multifamily, which is what I love, okay? Now with commercial multifamily, again, it's 5+ units. And what's beautiful about commercial multifamily is it's valued based on a multiple of the net income. You've got your total income from all sources less your property-related expenses equals the net income. And it's called net operating income or NOI, okay? Now, any increase in that net operating income or NOI is an exponential increase in value, okay? And I'll explain. What we look for is properties that we can raise the rents or decrease the expenses and increase that net operating income. So to give you an example of that exponential increase in value with the net operating income, let's say you've got a 50-unit property. I'm just going to use this for simplicity's sake. Let's say you've got a 50-unit property and you raise the rents $50. You have just immediately, in most parts of the country, increased the value of that property $500,000, just like that. That's why commercial multifamily is so exciting. With rents going up, values are going up, just incredible opportunities. So let's talk about the different types of properties that you can buy. So there's A, B, C, and D properties. There's also A, B, C, and D areas, okay? Now the A properties are obviously, they're the brand new properties. They're the ones that just got built. They've got the most amenities. They're the nicest, okay? And then the B properties are a little bit older than that. C are even older than that. D, those are the hood, okay? Now, I don't recommend that you start with buying A properties because, first of all, there's a lot of competition for those. A lot of people that have no cost of funds, like big insurance companies and REITs, buy those A properties or develop them. But I like to go after the B and C properties in the A and B and C areas, okay? And let me tell you about D properties. I don't recommend you do D either. Ask me how I know. I've owned a bunch of D properties. I've had people killed in them. I've had drug traffic, crime, like you don't need that brain damage. So I don't recommend you go after D. I recommend you go after, again, B and C properties in A, B, and C areas where you can increase the value. This commercial real estate game is so freaking exciting because you can ramp the value. You know, but here's how you start. So you start by creating you self-evaluate is really the first thing you do. You you take a look at what your courage is, your courage muscle, like I talked about. You take a look at your resources, who you know, maybe how much money you've got, and you establish some investment criteria. So you decide where you're going to buy, you decide what size property you're going to buy, and you decide what asset class, what A, B, C, or D property you're going to go after. That way you're not a generalist, you're a specialist. And to succeed in the multifamily space, you need to be a specialist. You can't be all things to all people, okay? So focus on a particular market, focus on a particular type of property like we just described, and you're off to the races. My name again is Rod Khleif. I hope you'll check out my website, rodkhleif.com. Have an awesome day.